And that's a big HFA, yeah. Happy Friday, America. We're back. We're coming at you. The energy is strong. It's going to be a great week. It's been a great weekend. Coming up here, it's going to be fantastic. Let's kick it off here. My name is Kevin Badstone. Running the buttons tonight, having some fun before my partner takes off for a little bit of a world venture. We're going to dive into that here in just a second, of course. But it is Happy Friday time. And sitting across from me, as always, is Arthur, the world traveler, Raw.
Oh, that's nice of you, Kevin. Happy to be here. Won't be here next week. We have a surprise co-host that's coming in that I'm super excited about. But we got a Friday to kick off, baby. Let's go.
August 16th, 2024 is today. What do we have in history on this day, Art?
Today in history, 1930, first color sound cartoon, Fiddlesticks, was released, and this was a Disney studio thing, okay?
Yeah.
And then so I'm talking to you about we're scripting a show, we're looking at everything, and you're all like, dude, I think Wizard of Oz was the first one.
I thought it was.
And
well, movie, not
the first movie, yeah. So that one was like what, 33?
39 for Wizard of Oz.
Oh, 39. Okay. So yeah, the cartoons were first. 1930. I was actually kind of surprised about that. Colored and with sound.
Yeah, that is pretty amazing. Have you seen Fiddlesticks? That's the question.
I have not seen Fiddlesticks.
I have not either. But
I didn't even search it. I wonder if we would recognize the art.
I bet we would. I've used that term.
Yeah, Fiddlesticks.
I haven't used it in a while, though.
I wonder, it probably came from this.
You think?
Yeah, like, Fiddlesticks.
I don't know. Now we're going to have to follow up on that.
Yeah, so that's one thing that's fun about today in history is sometimes it gets your brain going, and then all of a sudden you're trying to figure out how many carrier pigeons, how much contraband carrier pigeons have carried. Moving forward to all the way to 1990, all right, not too often do we have China making nuke news. So,
China.
In 1990, China performs their nuclear test at Lop Nor, PRC.
And where is that exactly?
I don't know.
Okay.
And also there was nuke news from USSR, USA, I forget what the years were, Nevada test site, the other one that we're always saying for USSR. So that's kind of boring. We found some new nuke news here. Moving forward to 1997, for only the second time in history, the Stanley Cup leaves North America and heads to Russia.
It's kind of a misleading headline, though, because the Stanley Cup still took place between Detroit and Philadelphia that year. But the cup itself, the actual trophy.
The cup itself.
The hardware.
And so on speculation, our research kind of stopped there, but we have a feeling that it made it across the pond for display reasons.
Visitication?
A visitication, a displayification.
Yes, that would make sense.
The Stanley Cup. Now, is there only one Stanley Cup?
Yeah, there is.
Not per year, but like there's only one.
It's the one.
But for Super Bowls, they have multiple.
Yeah, they do the Vic Lombardi Trophy every year. The Stanley Cup is the Stanley Cup.
That's pretty cool.
It is kind of cool.
I think that's cool. That's epic. That went over to Russia in 1997. And then, look, I love swimming. I try to swim multiple times a week. 2008, American swimmer, fellow pothead, Michael Phelps wins his 7th of 8 gold medals at the Beijing Olympics when he takes the 100-meter butterfly in the Olympic record, 50.58 seconds. He beats Milorad Cavic of Serbia by 0.01 second.
That's pretty
racing.
Close. When he gets that close, we're talking almost NASCAR numbers. But Phelps, solid lad. He had some choice words for the Olympics this year, and I agree with him on it. Great stuff. Let's keep it moving. Katy Perry, I don't know if you've heard her new song yet. I actually had a chance to listen to it before we jumped on. It's called Lifetimes. I got nothing against Katy Perry. Her music's decent. It's catchy. You'll hear it clubs, and eventually you'll hear it probably when you're at the mall or something, or maybe grocery shopping. It's kind of that pop music. It's good. Well, the video, which I didn't see, I only listened to the song, is under scrutiny right now, and apparently it's because of what took place geographically where they filmed this video.
Okay.
So it's a Spanish island off the coast of Spain. Small little island over there, and there's some sand dunes over there that are extremely protected by the wildlife conservation over there in the SS San Palmador area, and they had a set. They had a specific area when they were going to do their zoning, and they said, "Hey, we're going to film here. We won't touch that, this, that, and the other." Mm-hmm. Come to find out, the video comes out. People that are in the industry were looking at it going, "Oh no, they were filming in places they shouldn't have been. We got to investigate this." So as of us recording this, it's under investigation as far as what they did. Now, this doesn't necessarily fall on Katy Perry as the artist. It's all the people that organized it.
Like her teams and stuff. She's probably just like, hey, I'm pointing there, I'm going there.
They told me to come here.
This is where they said we're supposed to go. I'm just the showgirl.
Right, exactly. So I'll be curious to what comes out of it. So apparently these sand dunes that they filmed at, which I would like to take a look at in the film or in the music video, are protected, and there's a possibility that they did some environmental damage.
Yeah, crime against the environment, it says here.
So I'd be curious to know what the details of that are and what kind of boundaries were crossed.
This is my intuitive thought. Confetti, plastics.
So they trashed it.
Well, it was just trash wasn't cleaned up properly, and then, sand dunes move and stuff. So it's like this stuff gets embedded into the sand, and it's like it's in the environment now forever.
Yeah, I suppose that would make the most sense.
What else would they have done?
Kicking up some dirt. I mean, like you said, the wind is going to move it around. So it's got to be something along those lines. Maybe there was, like a fence or something that was constructed in the area that got, jacked up. I don't know exactly what the damages are, but it's a big headline this week, and more to come on that, I suppose. We don't really know what the details are.
Well, here is one thing that Kevin and I have learned, is that when you put it on wax, everyone can see what the fuck you said. Even if you forget that you said it, they still heard it. And so it's like you're going to record this video, break the rules, and record the video?
Yeah.
Like, what do you expect?
Well, and, they probably recorded this, if I had to guess, a few months ago.
Yeah.
They put it together in post-editing. It finally drops, and then someone's like, wait, what happened between the filming of it and now? Maybe somebody else jacked with it.
I mean, it depends what kind of confetti they're seeing in the videos, like what they're seeing on the ground out there. We don't even know if it's like I feel like confetti is a fun word right now, so I'm saying confetti.
And it makes the most sense as far as damage.
Confetti, spaghetti.
Yeah, I mean, something like that. So in any case,
maybe they're feeding spaghetti to the local wildlife, and it wasn't confetti.
It wasn't confetti.
I don't know though.
It wasn't so good. But so that's what's happening on. They say this thing has great, ecological value and is a protected member of the regional government's tourism area.
Wow.
And so that's why this is under such scrutiny. So I guess the only takeaway from here is if you're going to film a music video, just make sure you have your I's dotted and your T's crossed.
Yeah. Cover your shit and just do it right. Don't cut corners in life. Everything's going to come back. Everything has a cost. Same with fucking propaganda. It has a cost. I have a quick article on this. And what's funny about this article that I found is I also believe this article is left-wing propaganda, mainly because they're dogging on the right wing. So that's like a telltale to me. Like,
sure.
If any, like they're sitting here saying that right wing has like helped build propaganda for over 50 years and stuff. It's like, oh, no, the left has zero propaganda. Look, and I don't hold a side.
Right.
So like I'm in the neutral, seeing it from both sides, and I'm like, this is probably propaganda. However, still an interesting read.
Yeah.
So with the elections coming up and what happened in Venezuela, that whole situation's kind of close to me because my girl is from Venezuela, and that is pure corruption down there to where elections are getting stolen, and this could happen anywhere, basically, unless we keep things in check and don't get swayed. So I'm literally talking about this article just to keep people's minds sharp. And if you start to feel like you're getting triggered or you're emotional about a specific subject, then my suggestion is to try to read it from both different angles. Like you need to read both sides of propaganda in order to get your mind where it's at.
Fair and balanced.
But pretty interesting here. So they're saying that like propaganda really started in the United States in the during the World War I period, during the 1920s. And we all know, look, it's been around before then, but this is how this person's writing this out. And, we used posters to try to get recruits into World War I to go help fight that war. 1980s, it's embraced by AM radio. So it's getting more into there. And then more recently, now we have all these fake like The Onion, and what was another one? Pink Slime News Operations.
National Enquirer.
Yeah, and all these fake news things. So it's like they try to belittle real journalism and make it so like you can't believe anything. So that's all propaganda. But then now, today's atmosphere, we are dealing with, what was it? Death by infotainment. So basically we have all of our social medias, which have algorithms that help lead into whatever we're biased toward. Like, it learns that, and
Sure.
then it feeds more of us that stuff. Look, the United States has an election coming up. It's always a big year when that happens. And this is just my call to everybody to be a critical thinker and to not get swayed by the propaganda by either side. It's coming from both sides. It's coming from all opponents and also corporations. Everything has an agenda, and it's up to us to stay vigilant and be critical and make our own decisions.
I agree 100%. I mean, propaganda is basically, it's hard to call it news, right? Because it's basically an opinionated, mission statement is what I would categorize in a nutshell what propaganda is. It's an opinionated, movement to get people to kind of sway one way or go against another. Like, propaganda could also be pulling you away from something. I don't know. We see it every day, as you alluded to, and there is. Like, when you look at The Onion, you think about it, when you showed someone The Onion's, videos maybe 15 years
Some
ago.
people think it's real.
It looks it. Like, one of my favorite videos they ever did is Some Bullshit is Happening. Remember that one where the news guy's like, there's some bullshit happening, and it's fantastic.
It is.
It's just
good
a great. It's a great comical take on it, but it's gotten to the point where it's hard to separate comical from reality, and it's easy to get swayed away from reality.
Yeah, I mean, basically, this is how I do it. So I believe that Kevin Batstone exists, and because I've seen you in person, I know your opinions in person.
It's fake news.
Fake glasses. Whenever he's wearing
I'm a
these
lizard
glasses,
person.
this is not the real Kevin Batstone.
No, I'm Illuminati. I was sent here, CIA lizard.
He's playing a character. No, I'm joking. But here's the thing. Okay, so I'm online too. I get sucked into the scroll just like everybody does, okay?
Mm-hmm.
I just consider everything online satire.
That's a good way to start.
I just think everything is satire. It's entertaining, but I'm not going to take it for 100% face value. Anything.
You can't.
Nothing.
You can't.
It's all satire in my mind.
Can't take it seriously, for sure. And these, the problem with propaganda is it feels like it should be taken seriously.
Well, because it pulls on your emotions.
Right.
You have this emotional value that's attached, and you're like, oh, I feel something for that.
Yeah.
When you're getting played.
You're getting played, and the reality is all it's doing is creating more divisiveness, more animosity towards possibly somebody with an opposing viewpoint. And that's exactly what it's done, and that's what it continues to do, including during election year.
And it's horrible. So the last little part that I have here that I felt worthy to put in is the U.S. shift towards polarization is often treated as inherent and unavoidable component of the American DNA. And that's what propaganda will do to us if we continue to listen to it. It's going to continue to make everybody think that we are a divided nation when truly, and I hate to say this, but 9/11 brought all Americans together because we were attacked as a nation, and America was strong when we came together. Let's all come back together. This is our country, and we can do better. We don't have to be polarized here. We can have different opinions and still get along.
I agree. Yeah, I agree with that. People basically, underlying thing is just take responsibility for yourself, right? And don't rely on someone to tell you how to think, how to feel, what to feel. That's basically what this is doing. It's telling you, oh, well, don't listen to this Yahoo, listen to this Yahoo, whatever the case. Take responsibility, do your own research, take everything with a grain of salt and a spice of pepper, and keep it moving.
I like it. Let's keep it moving into Kev's Random Records.
Random Records, baby. All right, so real quick before I dive into this week's record, David Rush, he's in the news.
Okay, what's going on with Rush? Because we've been talking about Rush not doing anything for weeks.
He's doing it.
What's he doing?
I don't have anything to report on right now as far as official from Guinness, but hopefully next week with our guest host, we'll have a little bit more on that. Okay. So he did confirm go to London to try to break 15 world records in a single day in London, and that will well pass him.
Okay, so he already went there and did this.
He did it.
Okay.
So once Guinness signs
it's not
off,
confirmed.
Not confirmed.
Okay.
He's got to get the written approval from Guinness on it, and then he will be the new world record holder by 15 over Silver of Saba.
That's good to hear. I was starting to get frustrated that he tied the record and then he was chilling.
Yeah.
No, he's out there trying to get 15 more.
He's hustling.
Okay, I respect the Rush on that.
The Rush is getting it done. So we'll talk more about him next time. But this week we have a fun one. I love tacos, Art. Tacos are one of my favorite things.
Who doesn't love tacos?
Somebody probably doesn't.
You listeners, would you rather just never eat a taco again? I doubt it. Everyone's going to want to eat tacos.
Tacos are delicious, and especially when you can make some.
Have you met anyone that doesn't like tacos? That's I don't
think so.
They're like, no.
Probably not. I don't think so. There might be people I've never seen eat tacos.
Now, I have met people that don't like pizza.
That's just.
I've met people that don't like pizza.
How can you not like pizza?
I don't know.
You must not like cheese or bread.
Or like it's too acidic. Like they have like a
With the sauce?
tomato acidity sensitivity.
They got white sauce pizzas.
That's true. That's true. And sorry, I don't mean to steal your article here.
No, that's important information there. But so there's a Mexican state that broke the world record of 186 varieties of basket tacos. It's a lot of varieties of tacos, Art. So down there in the Mexican state of Tlaxcala, they earned the Guinness Book World Record by serving up more than 30,000 basket tacos with 186 different flavors. So the state gathered more than 150 chefs, got involved in this to assemble the tacos during an event and basically go ahead and try and make a run for the record.
Okay.
186 different flavors. Man, I don't even know if I could think of that.
So
many
now
flavors.
does this count? So I got the same ground beef, I got the same onions, and then I just got
A sauce?
different hot sauce on like 5 different tacos. I could see them doing stuff like, and that should count.
It should.
That should count.
It should. I mean, when you're talking, it has to be such minuscule differences between them to get 186 different ones, right? There was potato, pork rinds, beans, adobo, and a lot of other creative combinations, sausage, cactus that they used. So like they went a little wild with this. I don't think this is just your typical chicken, beef.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean, those were I'm sure on display for displayification.
Displayification was on, and this is an area of Mexico that's known for displayification.
Okay.
Because they also got a record previously in the same state for the longest sawdust carpet. Okay. It's measured 12,924 feet and 11.5 inches long on the sawdust carpet down there. These guys are record breakers.
Wow. I mean, look, Mexico City, not that that's the same city, but Mexico City's higher than Colorado or than Denver. It has like one of the highest. Look, and they got the spice.
Yeah.
They got the muy picante out there.
Yeah, that's good.
I would have loved to see if anybody challenged themselves to try all 186 varieties.
Only one man would be brave enough. Joey, the Jaws chestnut.
That's pretty awesome. Yeah, I would love to see a picture of all the different types. I don't know. What's your favorite taco?
I mean, look, it's always going to be carne asada.
No, but like, what are you going? Flour or corn tortilla? Like, what is it?
So street tacos.
Or is it like crunchy?
Street tacos, corn, carne
Tortilla.
asada
Okay.
with the onions and cilantro. It's so simple.
super
Little
simple.
lime juice, maybe some hot sauce. That's my favorite taco. Now, I love all the varieties, but if I had to pick, that's the one.
Yeah, just the simple street taco. That's classic. It's clutch. It's like eating sushi and you get a California roll. That's kind of like the basic. This is how you get started because it's so good.
Yes.
It's so good. What I would like to say that I would like it with the flour tortilla. However, you could just do a burrito with that.
You could.
So like, I could get the same. You could basically get the same flavor in a burrito as you can a taco, but you're just getting more stuff within the burrito than you do the taco. Either way, people, what are your favorite tacos? Next, we're moving into the would you rather.
The would you rather.
The would you rather, and we got to cover last week's kind of unpleasant would you rather.
Yeah, it wasn't a great one. You and I think, both agreed on stubbing our toe.
Yes.
So, quick refresher here for the folks that might have missed last week. We had a would you rather. Would you rather stub your toe every night before bed or bite your cheek every time you eat?
Yeah.
Okay, Art and I both took the stubbing of the toe.
Yes.
And America unanimously agreed with us. 100% stubbing the toe. No one's biting their cheek this week.
Really?
No cheek this week.
Really? I only heard one person because I asked this in person to people too. Only one person told me to cheek, and I was like, "What?
Yeah, that's.
You gonna be biting your cheek?"
I think that's.
And they're like, "Well, callus develops." I'm like, And they're like, "Dude, you could break your toe. You're gonna be walking different." But I feel like we already talked about last week's Would You Rather.
Yeah.
Thank you for participating on the X page over there, or leaving a comment here on the YouTube channel. So this week's Would You Rather is kind of going back to a good old classic type of reincarnation type of Would You Rather. So let's say reincarnation does exist. You get reincarnated. Would you rather be reincarnated as a wolf, or would you rather be reincarnated as a lion?
Tough one. They're both pretty powerful creatures. You got to think about the environments that they both thrive in. One's a very hot desert. A wolf can pretty much thrive in a couple different environments, but they get, you're going to see wolves in more colder environments than you would a lion. Does this include a mountain lion? I'm assuming not. I'm picturing like an African jungle lion here.
I mean, look, since I wrote it as lion, you could be a mountain lion or
All right.
because I kind of left that open.
Yeah.
But I was originally thinking like a lion, like in a pride.
Yeah.
Because wolves are in their pack, so you either way you have like a pack that you're with.
Right.
Because if you're a mountain lion, you're mainly solo dolo. So I guess if you go mountain lion, it has to be versus solo wolf, lone wolf.
Yeah, I think that's the way to keep it.
Okay, so would you rather be reincarnated as a lone wolf or a mountain lion?
I'm going to take the lone wolf on that scenario.
Okay.
Originally, I was leaning towards the desert lion, but I then immediately I started thinking about the surroundings, and I'm going to take the wolf. I think. Mm-hmm. I'm going to go on a great hunter, fast, agile, can handle extreme conditions, reliable, and kind of a leader within itself. Mm-hmm. You know, the wolf take down the sheep. Mm-hmm. I'll take the wolf.
Okay, that's cool. I like that. Myself, I'm gonna go with the mountain lion, the cougar. You know, we're silent, we're deadly, and I've seen one in real life, and it was pretty cool. I've never seen a wolf in the wild. I have seen a mountain lion in the wild, which is kind of interesting because I'm talking about how sneaky they are and stuff.
Yeah.
But look, they're not trying to reintroduce mountain lions into Yellowstone and stuff. Like, they're reintroducing wolves to check the populations out there, so it's pretty cool.
I think the wolf should be out in the wild. I mean, I understand it brings up some concerns for farmers and their cattle and other animals, but that's where they thrive, right? The wolves belong out in the wild. We're taking things out that probably shouldn't be, and you know, I agree with what Colorado did there by reintroducing the wolves. Mm-hmm.
So what are you going to pick? Are you going to be the lone wolf, or are you going to be a mountain lion? Let us know on the X page or down below in the comments.
That's right. And we're going to keep this train moving to Mars. So fun article here that I found this week, Art, over there. Anytime we get some aerospace research.
We like the lunar stuff.
The lunar stuff is fun. Mm-hmm. You know, it is. Asteroids, looking into the future. We had one a few weeks ago about,
caves in the moon.
Caves in the moon. Mm-hmm. I mean, there's a lot going on up there. And we've always known that life probably could exist on Mars. I mean, we found traces of water before.
And wasn't there bacteria up there that they found?
They found a lot of shit up there that is making sense. And, now there's some new research out as far as the amount of volume of water that could potentially be on Mars.
Okay.
Like, that's a tough thing to measure. Like
there's still water on Mars.
There's water on Mars.
Okay.
Yeah, there's 100% water on Mars. But most of it is ingrained way into the crust, the rock, 7 to 12 miles underneath the surface.
Okay.
Like in the planet, in the hollow Mars, if you will, if there's one of those.
Hollow Mars. Okay.
If there's one of those.
Now, does Mars have volcanic activity?
I don't.
Or is like the core of that planet dead?
I'm not an expert on Mars.
Yeah, I'm not too sure on that.
That's just not
like
my
it got
area.
me thinking all these questions all of a sudden.
There's a lot to know and ask and learn about, the aerospace and NASA and what they're doing out there. But so according to this, what they're saying is potentially there's enough water in there to fill the oceans of the planet, right? So the water beneath, if it were released, I don't know how you would do that other than maybe
fracking,
mm-hmm. right? Blasting the water out of the rock. Because, I mean, how else? Naturally, there's no way it would come out in a short time.
I mean, no, and it hasn't since humanity existed, at least.
So basically what they're estimating is if this water was released into an ocean form, right, they're saying it'd be a mile deep, so 5,280 feet. That's a pretty deep ocean. I mean, we know Titanic's 2 miles down there, but a mile deep is that's a lot of water.
That is a lot of water, but how's the atmosphere? Like, would it contain the water? Would the water just evaporate in the sunlight? Because like, how hot does Mars get in the sun? Like
Sure.
There's so many things that I don't know the answers to these questions.
Yeah, it's definitely a deep well above my area of understanding.
But I do believe humans will inhabit Mars at some point in the future, within 200 years.
We're probably going to see
like
some test subjects well before that. Folks going up there giving it a go, staying the weekend, renting their Mars Airbnb.
Doesn't
and then
it take like a year to get there or something?
It takes a long time.
Like, how long would it take to travel to Mars?
Yeah, I don't have that figure for you. I'm sure it's all stuff that we could probably ask our phones over there, or just go to imright.com and you can find that answer. But
find your propaganda.
Find your propaganda. Ask your doctor if propaganda is right for you. But, and who knows, maybe this is propaganda about Mars. I don't know.
Yeah, who knows?
But I put it in here because it's interesting. It's a super long read, so for the aerospace nerds out there, you can read it if you want. I just kind of consolidated it down to get some of these talking points. But to me, when I think about it, it's like a mile deep worth of water covering the planet, within the planet already.
Yeah.
That's just pretty incredible.
No, that is pretty incredible. And, it's things like that where we see like a potentially dead planet. Maybe it had life and maybe at one point, but just to be here right now, even with all the problems, propaganda, and all the shit in the world, like I feel pretty fortunate to even just exist.
We got to count our blessings every day, of course.
So I think that's a really cool read. It's fun to think about. Like, now I'm thinking, does Mars have a core, an active core? Does it have active volcanoes? Is there, like, magma underneath there? Why doesn't the water come out? Or how did it get trapped so low?
Magma.
These
are all things for you to think about on your flight tomorrow.
Yeah, this is going to be a long one.
It's a long flight, my friend.
I got one of those neck pillows.
You're going to need it.
Yes. So somebody... And this is all coming out of New Hampshire, okay? So there's some good people out where you're from.
603, baby, let's go.
And I'm fortunate to have met you. You're a great friend. However, in New Hampshire, this 90-year-old war veteran, Donald, he was pawning jewelry to pay rent. Once the person who was at the pawn shop, this lady found out, Janelle, it's one of those. Jenelle. Janelle.
Probably Janelle.
Janelle. So Janelle started talking to Donald. Figured out, why he's pawning stuff. He was diagnosed with dementia. His rent increased. He was just finding it increasingly difficult to make ends meet while also caring for his wife. So his wife had dementia, actually. So Donald's just out there trying to be a provider at 90 years old. And, people aren't hiring 90-year-olds when you're in retirement. And he's selling his jewelry, man. So Janelle was a solid Ledette. She actually scraped up $1,300 of her own savings to initially help him. Beyond that, she also established a GoFundMe page. And I like to just share some good news on Happy Friday, America. We talk about some other stuff too, but they actually raised, between Janelle's efforts, setting up the page, and everybody who donated, they raised over $400,000.
It's pretty amazing.
For Donald, man.
Yeah.
And so just imagine that. Like, that makes me so happy that people can come together to help one person and be a little selfless, because, he was struggling. He probably was selling jewelry and stuff that, like, meant something to him.
Sure.
Just to
get
pay
by.
the bills, to help his wife, and then hopefully with this amount of money, like, hopefully they can, like, live a great end of life together.
Yeah, that's just a very touching story, of course. I mean, look, it's hard times, folks. It's hard to make a living. It's hard to, make the bills, whether you're a senior citizen or just getting into the working market. So the fact that this guy was pawning off jewelry that had been sitting around for who knows how long, and came together to raise that much money is incredible. It kind of reminds me of the story you shared a couple weeks ago about the fella cleaning up the trash that brought the community together. Got the rivers
That was
cleaned
a cool
up.
one.
All it takes is someone to start. Get the train moving, get the wheels turning.
Well, and there is, I forget the word for it, but like, you see somebody like in public getting harassed or like beat up or something, like, people normally just kind of watch until one person intervenes,
and then everyone does.
And then it, like, sparks everybody's hero within them.
Yeah, somebody just has to lead the pack.
Yeah. So if you're around injustice, if you're in a position to make a situation better, then just take action, even if you feel uncomfortable, because you might move the entire room to help that effort. It's this type of stuff is crucial, and it's like a weird psychological thing that's with humans. Like, sometimes we just want to sit back and watch the train wreck, but then once one person goes to help, then all of a sudden it's like, shit, I need to jump in there too.
Yeah.
So be the first one to jump in. I think that's great advice.
Yeah, jump in there, get it done. Definitely, it's a good article, Art. That's a little bit of uplifting information there. And get 603, baby. Live free or die. That's my home state. Yeah. Good to see it making the show again. Love it.
Dude, New Hampshire's always making the show for some reason.
New Hampshire is a fun state.
I'm not even like doing this on purpose.
The HFA gods have led you to the Granite State. We love the Granite State. All right, let's keep it moving here.
We're going to Illinois.
I like chicken wings.
Okay.
I'm sure you like chicken wings.
Who doesn't like chicken wings?
Well, I'll tell you.
Who doesn't like taco probably don't like chicken wings.
Same person, probably.
Doesn't like pizza. What the fuck?
Yeah, what's going on with that? I'll tell you what. Vera Lydell likes chicken wings a lot. Okay, she likes it a lot.
Is she a record breaker or something?
We're going to have to crunch the numbers to see what she's going up against to get that record of most chicken wings stolen in a 9-year prison sentence.
What?
So, yeah, Vera Lydell was the district food supervisor for the Harvey School District 152 in the greater Chicago, Illinois area, and oversaw the purchasing, the procurement, reorders of all the food for the kids in the school district. Well, she found a way to manipulate the system and go above everyone's head.
Give somebody a little bit of power, huh?
Too much power, and she started diverting the chicken wings from the kids to herself, and she basically PO'd and processed 11,000 cases of chicken wings from the food provider.
11,000
cases?
I thought you were saying 1,100 at first.
No, 11,000 cases.
11,000.
Worth $1.5 million worth of chicken wings.
Wow.
Which equated to 11,000 cases of wings, which were stolen during the pandemic. So this was right around the time, July of 2020 to February of 2022. That's a lot of chicken wings, Art. What I'm trying to figure out here is what the hell she did with them.
So, yeah, for sure. So it's like a 5-year period. Okay, what I'm curious about is how many chicken wings are in each case. Because then we could actually get like a countdown.
Yeah.
And then we could divide the total chicken wing count by the years, and then divide that by the days, and then we could get down to
how many chicken wings a day?
An average daily chicken wing count.
I bet you
was this lady eating?
Probably about 100, I would think.
A day?
Yeah.
Like, this is just all you eat?
Well, I don't think she was eating 100 a day, but it would come down to about 100 a day of chicken wings stolen if we were to do the math on it.
Yeah.
Give or take.
I'm so curious about that. I got to figure out how many chicken wings are in these cases.
Yeah, there's gonna have to be some math on that, but
you can prepare it a bunch of different ways. Like, chicken wings are so good.
You could take the meat off the bone and use it as shredded chicken. You could do a lot with it, depending on is it a wing, is it a drumstick? There's a lot of things you can do, but the fact remains she ended up pleading guilty. They caught on to her. They did an audit. They audited the system, of course, because eventually someone's going to catch on.
Yeah, you can't just do this forever.
You can't do it forever.
1.5 mil?
1.5 million worth of chicken wings.
Damn.
And the audit is what basically set the flag up the pole. Where is all this inventory? How are we short $300,000 with half the school year left? Like, something's off here. And so that's when they ultimately found out that this woman was carrying out possibly the biggest chicken wing heist I've ever seen.
I have never heard of a chicken heist as big as she wanted that bird hit.
She wanted all that bird hit, baby. 11,000 cases of it.
That is crazy, man. I mean, of all things.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I've been a criminal before. I just never got caught. And I stopped doing all that stuff. But I still kind of think like that sometimes. So, like, at first she gets this power. And she's like, yeah, I could get away with this.
Then it's a high.
And then she gets away with it the first time. She's like, she's deep frying her first chicken wings at home for free. She's like, man, I wonder if I can get away with it again. And then she just got so comfortable and complacent, no one's ever going to find out. Here's the thing, lady, in criminals, is every cycle comes to an end. And you got to get out. You can't be riding this coattail of criminal activity and display and ship of this type of stuff.
Yeah, absolutely, because now her cycle of 9 years in prison has begun.
It has begun.
That's a major sentence for this.
All over the chicken wing. I mean, bro, I don't even know if in my professional career I've made 1.5 million yet.
I don't see how. There's no way. She had to have been like doing something else. Maybe selling it. Maybe she was like the goodness of her heart. She was giving it to the homeless shelters and shit.
Maybe.
But I feel like if that was the case, the sentence wouldn't have been as big.
Yeah.
But it doesn't take away from the crime of theft. It doesn't matter what you do with it. The fact that you stole X amount of dollars worth of inventory.
So is Robin Hood bad for stealing from the corrupt wealthy and giving it to the poor?
It depends if it's a crime, right? In that world.
Well, yeah, I mean, he's still doing a crime, but is it wrong?
Yes.
The crime is wrong, even though the people he's stealing from are wrong with how they gathered those funds.
Yes, because you're still committing the act of theft.
But they're just doing it on a bigger level.
Right.
So, but then it's just like, so you're paying it back with the crime. I guess that's karma.
It's something like that.
Robin Hood is karma.
2 wrongs don't make a right.
No, they don't. But 2 negatives make a positive.
So then 2 wrongs.
Wait, isn't that right? If you negative times negative is a positive.
Well, that's multiplication. That's not, an addition.
Morality.
Side by side, and morality, of course. We're trying to bring in trigonometry and algebra into morality.
We're talking a bunch of things. We were talking about astrology. I was thinking maybe we get into some math next. Happy Friday.
Taking this thing way above my head before you leave town. But yeah, 9 years behind bars, stealing these wings, carrying out the wing heist, okay, because that's what it is. I just want to know what the hell you do with 11,000 cases of wings if you're not reselling them, giving them to like a food donation? What are you doing with that many damn wings?
I would like to think that she knows how to make the best chicken wings. And then when she's in prison, they're going to end up making her cook chicken wings for people because she's so good at it. She's going to be the line chef.
She's the
not in charge of inventory, though.
Wow. Yeah, no. Her inventory management duties have been revoked. Okay, and her ordering abilities. Hey, look, she pulled off a great wing heist, but you know what? She got caught, so it really wasn't that great of a heist.
If she would have stopped 2 years ago, she would have been fine. She would have gotten like 3 years of free wings.
Wow.
She had to keep pushing the envelope. And we're going to push it into cool shit to do this weekend. What you got first, Kev?
All right, so cool band America was one of the first songs I actually learned how to play on guitar was by them. Horse with No Name. Actually one of the easiest songs to play on guitar. They're here in Denver, Colorado, Paramount tomorrow night. If you want to go out and see some live music, they're a great band, and they're still crushing it years and years later.
That'll be some good classic music to listen to, vibe out. Hey, I'm flying out. Actually, technically, I already flew out on Thursday, and so this weekend I'm chilling in Sweden with my older brother Eric Duchesne. I'm super excited for that. And one event we're gonna do out there is Fika. Now, just so everybody knows, Fika is Swedish for coffee with friends. Café con amigos.
Well, that sounds like a great time. I hope you have a great trip out there in Sweden. I like the Swedish fish, the candy. I know it has nothing to do with the country, but I used to eat those as a kid. And another thing I did as a kid was watch NASCAR, and NASCAR is back in Michigan this weekend. Big race. My dad's going to be there.
That's going to be fun.
Dad also flew out in the past and is now in Michigan for the race this weekend. A lot of controversy in NASCAR right now with Austin Dillon being stripped out of the playoffs with his win last
when you're wrecking
weekend.
People on purpose on the last lap, come on, man.
It was not a good move by Austin Dillon.
That's so stupid.
Be sure to tune to Mash the Gas every Monday night to hear Jeff Davis and myself break down the action. It's NASCAR, baby. It's time for the weekend. Art, tell them where to go.
Yeah, check us out on Instagram and Facebook. Happy Friday, USA. Go ahead and follow us. We do other stories and stupid shit, too. Hit us up on X for the Would You Rather poll. That's so much fun. That's going to drop weekly. And then also hit us with an email, happyfridayamerica@gmail.com. Hey, America, I'll see you in like 14 days again, and I will be safe. Kev, much love, man. Papa, have fun at the show, at the race.